Yeah, they rode the storm really well. Newcastle had a lot of possession, had a lot of the ball, got into forward positions, pressed like I wanted them to do in terms of the analysis I did before the game. It was much better from them, the way they had more energy than they have in previous games. The only thing I think that's let them down was their final ball and their killer instinct. Other than Joe Linton's effort in the 46th minute, I think it was, they've not really looked like scoring trouble in Edison, and they've caused their own problems defensively. The two big chances Manchester City had was really poor defending from Trippier and from Dan Burn, and then the other chance they gave to Gundogan was a terrible pass from Nick Pope. But I think Newcastle can be encouraged, with what they've had and what the problems they've given them. They just haven't had that final touch in the final third. I guess, the way they stretched. The one thing they didn't do last week against Arsenal was make the pitch big. They did that on this occasion, and brilliant from Grealish.
Some concern from Manchester City about Erling Haaland. We saw after that challenge with Dan Burn, he's been over to the physio, and they were concerned about him carrying on in the first half.
Yeah, I think this was an accident from Dan Burn. You can see there he goes on top with his right foot on the top of the left ankle of Haaland there, but he's just trying to get them. Great strength from Haaland, but on that occasion that was an accident.
Still,
it was a fair result. I don't think either team did enough to go and win the game in a strange sort of way. I think they both will be happy with that result because of the way the game went. I know City were pushing late on, and a really good save from Nick Pope to deny Silva, but I think all in all it was a fair result. Newcastle pushed, they got the goal. I thought it was slightly fortuitous. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, I thought it was a fair result. But he's never ever getting anywhere near that ball because he realises, I think, and he somehow, if there is a touch, it's a tiny touch, and he initiates the touch, Gordon, because of that touch to go past Edison he realises it's going too far away from him, and then all of a sudden he thinks, how do I now turn this into try and get contact? Watch his right boot. He then flicks that right boot out there to get the contact. So I think Newcastle got really lucky there. I didn't think it was a penalty at all. I've been in that position. I know what the forward's thinking. Your first thought is, once you make the decision to go around the goalkeeper, you've got to get your touch right. His touch is awful. His touch is taking him away from goal, and he can't get it. And once he knows he can't get his touch, therefore his second thought is, I've had such a poor touch. How am I going to turn this, or try and turn it into a penalty if the goalkeeper hasn't touched it? So then he's got to try and flick his right foot out. So many players do it. We've seen it all the time, and we'll see another